Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Wednesday, the 6th of September 2023. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about, so let's get going. Story number 1. The S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.8% today to 7,257 points after a pretty weak trading day. That's despite a reasonable GDP result, with the economy expanding 0.4% in the June quarter and 2.1% on an annual basis. It was red ink everywhere, a veritable sea of it today, with only 2 sectors that saw an increase: energy and resources. Information technology and industrials were the worst performing sectors across the day. Consumer discretionary also pulled back, which aligns with slower spending that was identified in the GDP results. There were no massive standouts really in terms of companies. Best on the bourse was Domain, up 3.9%, followed by Telix Pharmaceuticals, up 2.5%. Packaging company Aurora fell 18.2% after returning from a trading suspension. Aurora is raising funds at the moment to buy the glass bottle company Saverglass for about $2.1 billion. We mentioned that one on this morning's show. Cromwell Property Group was down 5.4%. Qantas had its strongest day in a little while, with shares up 1.1% under new CEO Vanessa Hudson. Moody's Investors Service said that the airline has had significant negative publicity, but the business still had a robust demand outlook and strong performance, and Alan Joyce's departure would help them start afresh. On to story number 2. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has announced 3 new initiatives to drive up investment between Australia and Southeast Asia. The new report he commissioned last year has just been published that warns trade with the region is failing to grow fast enough and is underdeveloped. In response to that, the government is establishing an investment deal team at a cost of $70 million over 4 years to work with Aussie investors and government bodies to find opportunities. There's also going to be a Southeast Asia Business Exchange and more support for Australian exporters. Now, there are 75 recommendations from that report. So these 3 initiatives are likely just the start of a much bigger expansion plan. On to story number 3. The New South Wales government is going to increase coal royalties for the first time in over 10 years in a bid to shore up the state budget. Coal royalties are going up 2.6% and are estimated to raise about $2.7 billion over the 4 years from 2024-25 onwards. This is to improve the financial position of the state and, in the words of the New South Wales Treasurer, to ensure the people of New South Wales share in the wealth. It's all part of the budget repair plan. While the Australian is reporting that coal companies like Whitehaven Coal will dislike the increase, it is way below the royalty scheme in Queensland, which has levies at 7% for prices up to $100 a tonne, rising to 40% at $300 plus. Story number 4. Labor's Closing Loopholes Bill has come under attack by Gerhard Veldsman, the CEO of iron ore miner Roy Hill. Veldsman was in Canberra for a Minerals Council of Australia event and said the industrial relations legislation will affect the mining industry's workforce in a negative way. He said the average salary in the resources sector is above $150,000 a year, and the same job, same pay rules would threaten that. He went so far as to call it red tape that is the same colour as, quote, the front page of Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. Very, very colourful. Peter Dutton was also speaking at the event and promised the coalition would oppose the government's proposed changes. There is fierce opposition to these changes from business groups who are especially concerned that their use of labour hire firms might be affected. And last one, story number 5, the Commonwealth Bank has bought a company called Waddle from Xero. Now, this is a company that had recently been written down by Xero to almost nothing, to zero, and it buys unpaid invoices off small businesses who need quick cash. Waddle isn't new to CBA, which has been in partnership with them before, but the Financial Review says buying it out is a step towards challenging NAB in business lending by broadening its offering. Now, Xero bought startup Waddle for $31 million in 2020, and it was actually started by 3 friends with an interest in tech as a bit of a side hustle in 2014. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 6th of September 2023. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Thursday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.